It's just something you say. How long you Welcome to another episode of the Environmental Podcast. My name is Wangeshi Karemi.
And my name is Bikora Gisemba.
And this is another episode of the Eco-theology episodes. We've already done the Christian perspective. This one is a Muslim perspective. Now, we said we are going to limit our perspectives to just two. One, the Christian, because the Christians and the Muslims, because they are the majority in Kenya. And our target audience is mainly Kenya for now. And in the Muslim conversation, we're going to try and tell you what we know. Mm-hmm. Now, if we do not know anything, take a minute, correct us, add your comments down there. Let us know, because we are trying to create awareness. We are trying to educate. That is the most important thing. So back to you, Bikora. I don't know if I was not from you. It's just something you say from the top of your mind. Let's talk about eco-theology from the Muslim perspective. In a summary, what do you think is the eco-theological perspective of the Muslim? And you can start us by telling us what eco-theology is for those people that have not watched previous episodes. I don't know why.
Please go back and watch that. Yeah, you're making me repeat this. But eco-theology is basically environmentalism from a Christian perspective or from a Muslim perspective.
Or from another
religion. Yeah. So today we're going to handle Muslim. Is it Muslim, Mama? Muslim, Mama? Doesn't matter. Muslim.
The people say Muslim.
Muslim. Yeah, Muslim. Anyway, so from this perspective, but so essentially we're just going to discuss how there's some quotes from the Quran that encourage environmentalism and
and some different aspects from our understanding of the little we have studied about eco-theology from the Muslim perspective. I am not Muslim. I have never been Muslim. So this is from a point of what we've done, our research, our little research of them. And we're going to tell you basically what we think should be the main message to the Muslims and to literally everyone out there when it comes to environmental sustainability. Our role in environmental sustainability. Right? So which one is our first one?
Well, our first principle in eco-theology, the Muslim version, is that is, let's do conservation, that is waste prohibition. Wastefulness, that is israf, is strongly discouraged in Islam. This includes conserving resources and avoiding unnecessary harm to the environment.
Yeah.
Israf.
So it's
israf.
My own language, the one I've been speaking ever since I was a child, I botch it properly. I'm just like speaking my own words. So I will not dare. I'll leave that to Bikora. She says it's called what?
Israf.
And it is what?
It discourages wasting things.
It discourages wasting things. And what exactly is wasting things in this point?
Again, back to carrying capacity, back to sustainability. You're overusing something right now that you really don't need just because it's available. Yeah. That's being wasteful.
Yeah. You see? People who shower 16 hours. It's you we are talking to.
16 hours?
16 hours. It's you. Because water is essential. Someone is looking at me like, how long do you shower? We need to take note of this. That sometimes there are people who get into the shower and then you leave the water
running. Yeah, when you're soaping up,
you don't
even need to do that.
Like when it's heating up and all of that.
Yeah,
maybe we need to be cautious when we are doing that. There's also this policy that we used to have when we were kids. You have to finish everything that's in your plate. I saw someone saying that is one thing they're going to stop telling their kids to do. They're going to stop telling them that kids in Africa are dying. Stop, by the way. That part, just as an African, no.
Yeah.
It's not. Everyone is dying under the sun. And we're not saying that we are not dying. We are. Just that don't use us to threaten your kids.
You can't be threatening your kids to eat, with your example being, kuna mtoto fulani Garissa hana chakula, that can't be it. I mean, I know hawana, but we can't be.
I mean, you can't use that. That's
wrong.
So there's the word I can't pronounce is RAP, that is against waste prohibition and
it's for conservation. Yeah.
Yes. So when we're talking about eco-theological perspectives in the Christian way, we said about stewardship. We said about how in the book of Genesis, God tells man to take care of everything that he has created. There's some sort of aspect in the Quran, and go ahead, correct me, down there. I am ready to be corrupted. We are here to learn.
Yeah.
It's called is it Khalifa?
Khalifa. Let's call it Khalifa because it's a K.
Because of the... So, in this sense, it's human beings are seen as stewards of the earth. Yeah, you have a responsibility to the environment. And we talked about a lot of things in the Christian perspective. We started asking questions of, if you're a Christian and you're cutting down trees, are you being a good steward to the earth? And we said you're not. And in the same sense, we would ask our Muslim brothers and sisters, if you are Muslim and you are a steward to the earth and you're not taking care of the resources that are around, you're not taking care of the water bodies, you are littering. Your waste is going into the rivers. You are not worried about your fellow human being and things like that. Is that really
being a good steward?
Being a good steward to... It's not. Yeah. It's not. So it's just very simple things like that. That religion has some sort of aspect of its interconnectedness with nature. And it tells us of our responsibility to nature and to the environment. And how we are supposed to make sure that everything around us is well taken care of. It's some level of ensuring that human beings take responsibility of what is given to them for free.
Yeah.
That is nature.
Yeah, and speaking about interconnectedness in nature, we have another concept. It's called Tawhid. That is Tawhid. That is oneness of God and interconnectedness. It says, and there's no creature on earth or bird that flies with its wings, except that they are communities like you. So the interconnectedness that we've been talking about, the ecosystem thing, the interlinkedness,
the biodiversity, the interdependence on other species, and how we are one, we live together. So why are you killing your rats and your hyenas? I asked the same questions we've talked about biodiversity, carrying capacity. We've talked about a lot of things in this podcast. And when every single time we come, I always ask the question of, why do you think that one species is less valuable than
the other? Yeah.
Even before you go to the other, why do you think one species is less valuable than none of them? All of them are created by God. We have to agree that all religions say that God is the sole creator of all of these things. And since he is, and he has given us that responsibility to take care of these things, why are we not doing that? Why are we killing them? Why is there massacre? Where is there poaching? Is that the Muslim way?
It is not.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, I'm not a Muslim. I'm going to say it right here, but I do not think so. Yeah. So another aspect that we found is, is it Adl? Justice. Justice. So justice is a core Islamic value, and in the eco-theological perspective here, we need to talk about environmental justice for people that have undergone environmental injustices. Now, environmental injustices come to the sense of, you do something to the environment that leads to a certain consequence, and this consequence, people suffer
trickles
from it.
Down to somebody who did not really contribute to the...
Even though they did not contribute to it. And now the whole conversation of why we are fighting for carbon trading and carbon markets to open up for the African market and the African Climate Summit come to play. And we start having the conversations of some people polluted, then there's the consequences of this pollution. Who is suffering? People that did not pollute. That is a social injustice. That is an environmental injustice. And in the Muslim way is that all creatures have to have their rights respected. Everyone has value. Every life under the sun has some sort of value, and you should not be unjust in your dealings. Don't engage in activities that are going to be unjust to them.
And speaking about still on wasting things, on sustainable living and ethical consumption, it says, "O children of Adam, take your adornment at every masjid and eat and drink, but be not excessive. Indeed, he likes not those who commit excess." Wastefulness yet again. Using what you don't need to be using. What about your next person? What about your grandchildren, We
normally ask when we talk about wastefulness, it's everything. Why is your baby shower on a waterfall? No, why are you running pink, red colors on the waterfall? How about the creatures that are living in the waterfall?
I didn't know that happens. We are so extra.
Why? Why all that extraness? You take what you need. Take it adequately. Enough. Have it to your feel. The rest
for others.
Leave it for others. For this generation, for the future generation. Even before we go to other generations, for your fellow. Are we thinking about compassion? That is another it's another aspect of ecotheology in the Muslim perspective. Compassion. When you talk about how you interrelate with other Muslims, other Christians, and other people under the sun, you need to think about your fellow. And there's no way you can take away something that belongs to other people, even though you can harm someone else's ecosystem. We're talking about these companies that go to mineral filled lands and then they just end up mining everything, taking it away, leave the indigenous communities over there suffering. That is not compassionate.
It's not being compassionate. That is gluttony, which I know is prohibited in both religions.
I feel like it should be prohibited. I say I have a religion that fights for these things. I don't think so. I don't think so. So when it comes to oneness with God, the aspect of stewardship, justice, wastefulness, compassion, amongst other things, one thing that we have to agree is that Muslim, as Islamic, as a religion, what's the difference between Muslim and Islam?
A Muslim is the person who practices Islam. Islam is the religion.
Oh, do you think they knew that?
I think just you did not know. But go on.
Yeah, I think Islam as a religion advocates for environmental sustainability. Advocates for acts and behaviors that are pro-environmental sustainability and sustainability in general. Community sustainability, we talked about sustainable development. Economic sustainability, whereby we are developing in all aspects of life, economically, socially, and also environmentally. That we are stewards also, that we take care of what is ours, things like that. And it is important to notice that it is, in the sense of religion, it is put in a way that it is your role. This is your role. Responsibility.
You are literally told to take care of something. You're given stewardship over the entire earth. So let's act like it, please.
Please, I'm
guessing, please.
We brought in the concept of ecotheology in the Christian perspective and in the Muslim perspective, so we can show you that what we are telling you to do, what we are teaching you, what we are creating awareness on, is not necessarily a foreign aspect. It's not a scientific aspect.
It is literally backed by religion, which existed so many years ago.
Yes, and it is also backed by our day-to-day interaction. There are things you cannot do and then still call yourself the perfect
Christian or Muslim.
Perfect Muslim, I don't think there is a perfect one. Just just digress a little bit. But we're saying that one thing that can make you a better one. One thing that can make you a better Muslim, a better Christian, a better you, is understanding your role, your responsibility, and acting on it.
That's right. So that's it on our end. See you next time.
See you next time.
Extra.
Why? Why all that extra net?